Eddie Hearn has revealed that the KSI Logan Paul rematch was the most viewed live fight that the Zone have put on so far. He also said it did more pay-per-view buys than any other pay-per-view this year in the UK, including Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz, although it was half the price because it was only £10, whereas AJ versus Ruiz was £20. But nonetheless, that's still very good going, considering that it was a fight between two social media personalities, two YouTubers, not actual serious boxers. So interesting, and it follows on from a video I did the other day entitled KSI and Logan Paul, don't hate on them, learn from them. And this is more evidence that you need to be learning from them. You can think that Logan Paul is an idiot. Perhaps you don't like his content. Maybe you feel the same way about KSI. That's all well and good. All right? But if you're smart, you're going to look at them and say, okay, what is it that they have done to garner this kind of following? But they've both got 20 million followers on YouTube. What is it that they've done to get to that position? What is it about these characters that so many young people like? So many young people are drawn to. So anyone who's involved in marketing, anybody who's involved in promotion or management of fighters, they need to be paying very close attention. And in a recent IFL interview, in fact, Eddie Hearn was asked about whether he's learned from the KSI Logan Paul fight, the card, the promotion, etc. And he said yes. One of the interesting things that Eddie Hearn said, which is very astute, is that the commentary team who they had on board and the presentation team involved a bunch of these social media personalities, guys who I'm not really familiar with. Now, the boxing crowd was slating these people. Oh, the commentary's terrible. Oh, what a joke. This, that, and the... Listen, it was a novelty fight between two YouTubers. Why would they have all the hardcore boxing analysts working a fight like that? You don't need that, right? These are not a couple of elite level boxers. So you want appropriate people to come in and do the analysis and the commentary. Adam Smith even admitted that he kind of took a little bit of a back seat. He consciously tried to take a bit of a back seat and allow the other guys they had in the commentary team, these social media guys, to lead the way, basically. And that's a wise move as well by Adam Smith. So there are some smart people there. They are learning. And if they decide to go forward with putting more fights on involving YouTubers and other celebrities, they're going to hopefully implement certain changes so that the next time around it's even more successful than first time around. And perhaps they will put more YouTubers on the actual cards because that's what the crowd want, right? The crowd had to sit through some not very entertaining professional fights involving good fighters in order to get finally to the main event where they got to see what they came, what they came to see and what they actually paid for. In fact, I was listening to a Boxing Beats and Rhymes video where he was talking about possible ways of making fight cards more entertaining. And one of his suggestions was cutting certain fights down to 10 rounds. So a lot of fights these days are 12 rounds, and I'm talking about championship fights, world title fights. But you also have like intercontinental fights and fights for silver belts and secondary belt. And these are 12-round fights. I personally think that world title fights should all be 12 rounds. Okay. I know Beats is saying that he thinks that maybe some should be 10, but no, I think all of them should be 12. But I don't think that all the intercontinental fights and silver belts and that, no, they should just be 10 rounders in my opinion. Yeah. And there are different ways of trying to, concentrate the action on a boxing show. You could have, essentially it's just going to come down to better matchmaking. And matchmaking not just to develop a fighter's career or for ranking, but matchmaking for action. You can say what you like about Top Rank, but Bob Arum, for a long time, was doing just that. He was matchmaking for action rather than matchmaking for ranking or matchmaking because there was a unification or whatever the case may be. He was just looking at which fighters are going to create the best action in the ring. And I think promoters are going to have to look at that. You know, the likes of the Eddie Hearns and whoever else is out there, you know, because if we're going to draw more fans to the sport, you're going to need to have knockouts. You're going to need to have excitement. You're going to need to have drama in the ring. This is why heavyweights are so popular. Because above all the other weight divisions, they tend to bring knockouts and drama more so. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What solutions are there for making fight cards more action-packed? Is it just down to matchmaking like I'm saying? Should we cut down the number of rounds? Because again, if you cut a fight down from 12 to 10, it does put a bit more pressure on both fighters to fight with a bit more urgency. It's like in the amateurs. There's a reason why amateur bouts tend to be fast-paced. It's because it's only 3 rounds. You got 3 rounds to get it done. So everybody's trying to fight at 100 miles an hour. Whereas when you got 12 rounds, you can slow it down, move around, take a round off here, round off there. So cutting certain fights down from 12 to 10 will light a fire under certain fighters and make them fight with a bit more urgency. That's a possible solution there, or something that might help a little bit. Also, when it comes to pay-per-view, why do we need to have a whole card with, 15, 20 fights? I know that's a lot of fights. Most of them have only got maybe 10 fights, 12. But, why do we need to have a whole card full of loads and loads of fights? Why can't we just have maybe 3 fights on the whole card? Like 3 big fights in the main event on the whole card. As long as they're quality, as long as it's fights where the participants are well matched stylistically, could we go down that road? Do people really want to sit through a whole night of boxing? Would they rather just cut straight to the chase? I remember when Channel 5 were doing boxing, I think they still do occasionally, but there were times when they would start the program right before the main event. We'll start the program. In fact, I remember back in the days, ITV did that a few times. Some of the big fights, they started the program right before the main event. They went straight into the main event. Then they showed the undercard after the main event. Maybe that's a better way to do it. Maybe that's certainly from a broadcast perspective, that might be a better way to do it. In terms of the people who actually attend, it's not practical to do it that way. You want to build up the excitement and all that kind of stuff. And if you put the main event on first, most of the people in the arena are going to leave and they're not going to stay to watch the undercard fighters. So it's kind of pointless having them on. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening. I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.